Because as a U.S. national, I have rights protected by the U.S. Constitution and the Supreme Court. I travel not for business and commerce. I just...
Same thing.
If the Mr. Williams in front of us does not admit that the ticket is in his name, is made out to him, I'd ask that the Mr. Williams on the ticket be given a warrant and that this gentleman be removed so we can continue with court.
I'm trying to resolve them, but I'm being threatened.
Today's story features one of the most unbelievable courtroom moments we've seen in a while. A man who claims to be a sovereign citizen somehow ended up with 17 traffic violations. Yes, all from a single stop. It's almost hard to believe. What makes this even more surprising is how he presents himself in court. He speaks as if he's not the person being charged at all. His confidence is unmatched, but so is the confusion. As the hearing unfolds, things take a turn. Let's just say the judge wasn't having any of it. And when the final decision comes down, it's a moment you'll want to see. It's direct, firm, and leaves no room for argument. Before we get into the details, let us know in the comments. How would you rate this encounter on the scale of courtroom drama? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Drove while license suspended. Count 2, open alcohol in the motor vehicle. Count 3, no insurance misdemeanor. Count 1, open intoxicants in a vehicle driver. Count 2, furnish false forged info to police officer. Driver's license never acquired. Count 1. Count 2, no insurance misdemeanor. Count 3, drive unregistered untitled vehicle. Count 1, open alcohol in a motor vehicle driver. Count 2, tinted windows. Count 3, operator or front seat passenger failed to wear a safety belt. Count 1, drive unregistered untitled vehicle. Count 2, if that same ticket is drove while unlicensed.
You're not going to believe this. One man managed to walk away from a single traffic stop with 17 separate citations. Yes, 17. It's as if he was collecting them like trading cards. At this point, he might just be the ultimate example of a sovereign citizen gone off the rails. Whether or not he realized the number he hit, he definitely treated it like some strange badge of honor. But instead of wondering how he got there, let's take a look at what he had to say in court. Spoiler alert. It's every bit as wild as you'd imagined. Let's get into it. Here's the footage.
Tyron Ruck on behalf of Mr. Timothy Williams. Mr. Williams, state your name.
I object to the counsel.
What was that?
I object to counsel.
Your Honor, I spoke with Mr. Williams. He's saying it's not him, and he's all rights reserved. His name is all in all capital.
I object to representation.
What was that, sir?
I object to representation by you.
Okay. So you would like to represent yourself, Mr. Williams?
I'm not representing myself. I'm just around appearance, trying to clear this matter.
Okay, so you have to be the person in order to clear these matters. You just can't appear on behalf of someone unless you're an attorney. Are you an attorney, Mr. Williams?
I'm not the person, but I'm the live living Williams, not the Timothy Williams.
Are you Timothy Talley Williams? Do you know Timothy Talley Williams?
I am Timothy Williams, the living, breathing Timothy Williams, not the all cat that stays on my ticket.
Okay. All right. So do you want to try and resolve these today or no? Okay. So you need an offer? Is that what I'm hearing you say? Because we can try and resolve all these tickets today if you want to.
Well, I'm just, because as a U.S. national, I have rights protected by the U.S. Constitution and...
Apparently, there are still folks out there who believe the U.S. Constitution gives them a free pass to ignore the law just by claiming they don't recognize the court. Sounds logical, right? One of the most bizarre arguments we've seen lately involves people insisting that tickets written in all capital letters somehow don't apply to them. It's the kind of reasoning that leaves most of us scratching our heads. If you can make sense of this, please let us know in the comments, because we're completely stumped. Some of these self-proclaimed sovereign citizens truly believe that by saying a few special phrases in court, they can avoid any consequences. But here's the thing. That strategy has been tried again and again, and it never works. Judges across the country have dealt with these claims. Just look at cases like United States versus Harwell or United States versus Cooper. The courts have heard it all before, and they're not buying it. The end of the day, it's not about being above the law. It's about trying to dodge accountability. These individuals may call themselves U.S. nationals or sovereign citizens, but what it really comes down to is refusing to face the results of their choices.
So if you travel, drive, ride, anything on the city streets of Detroit, then you have to follow the rules that the city of Detroit has imposed. And so if you have not followed these rules, then you receive something called tickets. And these tickets are given to you based on the license or prior license or identification ID that is given to you. So we can either resolve these today, or we don't have to resolve them. It's okay. But I would like to try and resolve these so that you can move forward and do whatever you need to do.
Yes, I would like to resolve them, but as the officer is seeing in his computer that by the Secretary of State, my ID has been rescinded, canceled. I have a passport, and I'm traveling. I don't drive. I just drive here.
Hold on, but if you drive in a vehicle, you need to have a driver's license. Your passport does not enable you the ability to be able to drive on the streets of Michigan.
I travel not for business and commerce. I just
Same thing. They have to have licenses as well. Have you ever heard of a truck driver without a license that drives on the commutes on the freeways, roads, or byways? It does not happen. You have to have a license to drive on the city of Detroit, state of Michigan. All 50 states are under my assumption and ability. So, Mr. Williams, I can't go back and forth. I have a lot of people on my screen. I know you can't see. We can have this discussion, but it just has to be near the end of the docket if you don't want to resolve it right now. Okay?
But for the record, Your Honor, I don't drive.
Go ahead.
For the record, I do not drive.
Okay. So how do you want to resolve it today? If you don't want to resolve it, I have to move to the next person, Mr. Williams.
I would like to resolve this matter.
Okay. All right. So would you like me to get you a... Yes, Attorney Snyder, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Alexa Schneider for the people, P80322. If the Mr. Williams in front of us does not admit that the ticket is in his name, is made out to him, I'd ask that the Mr. Williams on the ticket be given a warrant and that this gentleman be removed so we can...
Now, this is the kind of courtroom moment that grabs your attention. The prosecutor came in prepared, firm, and completely dismantled the defendant's bizarre arguments with confidence and clarity. Meanwhile, the defendant continues to act like the rules somehow don't apply to him, and it's becoming more surreal by the minute. Then came the ultimate response. If he claims he's not the person named on the ticket, well, why not issue a warrant for the name listed? It was a smart and sharp move that turned the situation on its head. There's something undeniably satisfying about seeing judges and prosecutors stand firm when these so-called sovereign citizen tactics try to derail the process. But the real question is, will the judge take action and follow through on the prosecutor's advice? Because if not, this case could end up clogging the court's schedule for days. What do you think? Was the prosecutor's response just right, or maybe a bit too much? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's get right back into it.
Mr. Williams, on these tickets?
Excuse me?
I said, is it you, Mr. Williams, on these tickets? Because that's fair. That means that I'm talking to someone who doesn't have these tickets in my courtroom, and so that person has not appeared. But I'm assuming that it's you. Are these your tickets, sir?
If you assume, yes.
So do you want to, Mr. Williams, do you want to resolve these or not? We can't keep going back and forth. You want to take care of these today with some type of plea or no?
I'm trying to resolve them, but I'm being threatened by imprisonment if I don't agree to these tickets.
Who's going to send you to prison? I'm not sending anybody to prison today. I'm fining people. That's all I'm doing. I'm giving them fines, monetary fines.
The prosecutor just said she issued a warrant. She recommended a warrant be issued.
Right, but you're not going to get arrested, but she's saying if you're not going to say that you're the person on these tickets. Mr. Williams, I have 20 people. I can't argue with you at the beginning of the docket. I can argue with you at the end of the docket. So I'm going to skip over this matter so we can continue. Let me get everybody else out, then I'm going to give you all the time in the world, and we're going to figure out what to do with you today, okay? I don't mind taking the time, but I got all these other people on here who are looking like, come on now, okay?
And now, this individual ends up waiting around for another 3 hours, only to face yet another round of reality checks. Not exactly the best use of a day, right? But hang on, because what happens next is pure gold. The judge, clearly done with the nonsense, starts explaining things to him in the simplest terms possible, step by step, like she's walking a child through how to tie their shoes. It's both hilarious and a little sad. watching someone treat a routine legal process like it's some high-stakes courtroom drama. Spoiler alert, it's not. He's not battling some massive conspiracy. He's just being told to follow the law like everyone else.
Versus Timothy Talley Williams. These matters were called on the record previously. I took a moment off. We had quite a busy docket this morning, and I want to make sure that we could give Mr. Williams adequate amount of time to be able to have and all of his questions answered about the matters that are before the court today. Appearances for the record, starting with the city attorney, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Alexa Schneider for the People, P80322.
All right. He continues to not want counsel. Is that correct, Mr. Williams?
Correct.
Okay. Can you state your name for the record, please?
Timothy.
Last name?
Williams.
Okay. Sir, now you've had the opportunity to sit and look and see how everything pans out and how everything works, Mr. Williams, right? Did you want to be presented with an offer today, or how do you want to move forward?
Well, the offer was to get all this.
So the offer was, I think, so he had some extra cases, Attorney Snyder. So it was FTD, failed to display a valid operator's license, and an open alcohol passenger that was being offered in exchange. He did have a couple of tickets in default, another open intoxicant driver, Attorney Snyder, and it was forged or false police information to a police officer. He may have just given him like a ID that expired. But if you plead to those two cases, the remainder of your cases will be dismissed.
No, I was talking about the agreement between me and you was to get this sorted out today. That's
right. So so the options are, so these are your options. You can ask for a pretrial. That'll give you some time to get documents together and to get everything back in order and then present it to the court. You can ask for a bench trial. That's a trial before myself as the trier and finder of facts. Every single one of these officers who have made these allegations will have to appear on that date and come into court. Or you can ask for a jury trial. That's when the officer is in person. 6 citizens of the city of Detroit will make the decision based on the law. Officers still have to come in. You will have to come in at that point in time, and then we can resolve it that way. Those are the 3, or you can plead guilty or plead responsible at this point in time to the offer that has been extended to you. Those are the 4 things that we can do to resolve it today. And I guess the 5th one is if you don't want to do any of those, then it just remains as is. It just remains there. And then eventually it goes into warrant status.
Yeah.
So I said,
personal rights, and I don't understand what's going on, so.
Okay. I don't know if they'll be able to help you. I really wish you would let us assign some counsel to you. They may be able to talk to you and help you understand a little bit better.
I tried, but he not listening, so I was just taking it in my own hands.
All right. Sometimes you have to be willing to understand that they're going to give you the law, not necessarily what you're following, but the law that we practice in the state of Michigan.
I have no contract. If I have no contract with the Secretary of State, then why am I doing this with this? I'm going through the proper procedure to have my rights protected under the Constitution and Supreme Court. So,
of Michigan?
Of Michigan, what?
No, I'm saying the Supreme Court of what jurisdiction? Michigan or the United States of America?
Here's the reality check this defendant clearly missed. Under the 10th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, states have full authority to manage civil matters like traffic violations. Yes, that includes citations and traffic laws. No exceptions for self-declared sovereign citizens. And let's not overlook the full faith and credit clause, which requires states to recognize and respect each other's public records, including, you guessed it, traffic tickets. It's pretty clear this person didn't do their homework. You won't find these facts in random internet videos or YouTube law school. But that doesn't stop some folks from thinking they've uncovered a hidden loophole. So what do you think? Does this person genuinely believe they're onto something, or are they just buying into misinformation? Let us know in the comments. And now let's get back to the chaos.
They won't have jurisdiction over local matters, though. And that's going to be the problem you're going to run into every time, Mr. Williams, that local matters are held The Constitution extends the right for us to locally handle certain matters, such as ordinance violations, misdemeanors, driving offenses.
All right, so if I'm not a U.S. citizen, I'm a U.S. national. What jurisdiction does that fall under? I'm not a resident or a U.S. citizen.
Oh, you don't live in the United States of America?
I live in the United States of America, but not under the jurisdiction.
So that's your residence. Are you born, like, do you have you said you have a passport, is the United States of America passport?
United States of America, but not the United States, the federal territory.
Oh, you didn't get so you don't have like a federal passport given to you. It's not a passport issued by the United States of America.
It is. Now my status.
And that wraps up this wild courtroom episode for now. Believe it or not, this individual is taking his case to a pre-trial hearing, so yes, we'll be seeing him again. He seems to think he's cracked some kind of legal code, but let's be honest, these arguments aren't just far-fetched, they're completely disconnected from how the law actually works. To be fair, the judge was surprisingly patient. She gave him plenty of time to speak, even when his claims clearly had no legal standing. A stricter judge might have stepped in much sooner the moment he started insisting traffic laws didn't apply to him, because, spoiler, they do. Instead, she let him talk, possibly to give him enough room to discredit himself. It made for an entertaining moment, sure, but also ate up valuable court time. So what do you think? Was the judge being too lenient? Or was she smart to let him keep going and unravel his own case? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. I post every day with more unbelievable courtroom clips and legal moments, so don't forget to stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and take care out there.